Welcome to RBN, the RacinBoys Broadcasting Network. I'm Scott Traylor from the McCarthy Auto Group studio. It's Open Wheel Weekly, and Bryan Hulbert joins us now. And Bryan, we have got a great week of action. I cannot wait. It's like we've been off for so long, and now finally we are back out with the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, going to a track that I think is going to be a regular stop with the National Tour. It should be a barn burner. Randolph County Raceway in Moberly, Missouri, the big, fast, high bank track. This should be a great time this Saturday night.
It really should be, as I'm getting photobombed by Stacy Hahn. She's saying hi to all the fans. She hasn't been to a race. Stacy, how long has it been since you've been to one of our races? Probably close to a year.
Yeah, and it might be another year because she's at Pizza Express. Her and Steve have opened up a restaurant down in Tulsa. So if you're ever down in Tulsa and you want a good pizza, check out Pizza Express and support the people that support ASCS, the Hahn family. I can't wait to get my first Pizza Express pizza.
It's really good. I just got done with the barbecue chicken pizza.
Is that right? Go figure. Barbecue chicken pizza for Bryan Hulbert. I can see that. Yeah, no doubt. Bryan, let's talk about this race this weekend. I know that you, like I, are ready to get back out on the tour. We've had too much time off for a lot of different reasons. No need to go into that. But this weekend, going down to Moberly, a track that I'm passionate about. I raced down there in the early 2000s when it was a pavement track. And every time I've been there in the last few years, the fans have showed up and the racing has been off the chart at Moberly.
Oh, most definitely. I know my first trip was Labor Day weekend. It was when we got done with the Jackson Nationals up in Jackson, Minnesota in 2013. And me, Terry Maddox, and Gabe Harris Sunday morning left out early, went down there, and place was packed, and the racing was just absolutely phenomenal that night. And now for ASCS National to get the chance to go into the high-banked Randolph County Raceway this Saturday night, it's going to be a lot of fun, and really looking forward to the drivers getting there. And you look at the point standings right now with only a few races in right now. Mm-hmm. It's still pretty tight. Aaron Reitzel up there leading this thing, and I think Aaron Reitzel really served notice towards the end of last year and is carrying through on that notice with the start of this year that he is a championship contender.
Yeah, no doubt. And Mark Smith is currently second in the points, 5 points out, but we know he's not going to be at Moberly this weekend. So realistically, Johnny Herrera, because Brad Loyette is third in points, those two guys again won't be here. Johnny Herrera will be. He's second in points. He's 58 points out. For no more races than we have right now, that's a pretty substantial lead for Aaron Reitzel, isn't it?
It really is, but you have to look at the fact that Aaron walked out of Florida with 2 wins, and he's 4 for 4 in top fives. I mean, he had an absolutely phenomenal run in Florida. Johnny had 2 fantastic runs in Florida. He ended up with, let me look here, he ended up with a pair of top fives, 4 top tens. He still hasn't gotten a national tour win, but he did pick up a regional win this past Friday night at Creek County Speedway. So Johnny's starting to get his program rolling, and that win at Creek County, it did not come against any slouches. You had Blake Hahn, Tony Bruce Jr., Seth Bergman. So you had a lot of the national guys that were there. So like you said, Johnny right now sitting in 4th, Jeff Swindell currently 5th, Tony Bruce Jr. 6th, Seth Bergman 7th, who is your winner Saturday night at Super Bowl Speedway with the ASCS Red River region. Then you have Chad Kimmenaugh, Greg Wilson, and Wayne Johnson rounding out your top 10 currently.
Yeah, no, and who knows who's going to show up there. We talk about all the ASCS National Tour guys, but now you throw in guys like Randy Martin, you've got Jay Russell, Jonathan Cornell. There's a good cast of young drivers that are competing in the Warrior region. They're going to show up as well down there at Moberly.
Almost definitely. And one of those young drivers that has stepped up to the national series is Kyle Bellin. And Kyle has run good at Moberly. So definitely looking to see if maybe he can sink his teeth in there and get up and run towards the front at Randolph County Raceway.
It's funny. I normally mention Kyle Bellin when we talk about the Warrior region, but he's one of our national tour guys. And I know that he's wanting to rebound. He had a kind of rough outing when he was down there in Florida for those 3 events that we had down, or 4 events we had down there. So it was a little rough for him, but I'm sure he's going to rebound. This is a track that he has a lot of experience at, so Kyle Bellin should excel at Randolph County Raceway.
Oh, he really shouldn't. I mean, you look at even Chris Miller's looking to rebound as well from the start of the season. Jordan Weaver's looking to rebound from the start of the season. And now that they've been able to run a few regional shows, they've been able not only to run ASCS, but some NCRA shows. They're starting to get some more speed underneath them, and they're starting to get the cars figured out. So definitely look for those guys to be making their way up through there. And then a couple of drivers that we know are going to be there. Parker Price Miller, and talking to his family, and it looks like he's going to be running for Rookie of the Year with the American Sprint Car Series. And also Wayne Johnson has said that he's probably going to be making the trip down to Moberly. So that will add to the talent pool that is going to be at Randolph County Raceway.
Yeah, well, Wayne Johnson picking up a big win last week for him. You know, Brian, I just touch on it quickly. You know, I know that we were supposed to go to Bulls Gap out there, and unfortunately the promoters decided to pull the plug on that. But I think for the teams, the Randolph County Raceway is a better fit because they don't have to pull so far. I mean, let's face it, it's only about 2.5 hours from Kansas City. It's not that far from Tulsa. It's not that far from Texas. Really, in the end, I think this is going to be better for the teams, don't you?
I don't know. I mean, everybody was really looking forward to going out to Volunteer Speedway, so it was really heartbreaking to have those promoters do that and pull these shows out from underneath the drivers. I could go into detail, but
there's no sense in that. Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of these drivers have competed at Randolph County Raceway, and they know what to expect. And I know when we said that's where we were going, several drivers were actually happy the fact that we were finally getting to go there.
Yeah, well, I know, again, it's a track where the sprint car fans pulled up. You talked about that night that we raced there after Jackson. I think we all pulled like 10 hours to get down there that day. And the grandstands were packed. And I've been saying it over and over and over that if you're within 4 hours of this event, you need to go because you're going to get your money's worth. I got to believe that if the track conditions are just right, we could have another situation like we get down at Salina where there's a lot of really big slide jobs. I mean, when you got the banking like what they have there, that always leads to it with the proper track conditions.
You know, and David Claypool and his crew, they do a fantastic job of getting that track ready. So they're going to be doing the track prep for us. And going in there, we're going to have not only us, but also USRA Modifieds are going to be in competition Saturday night. Gates are going to open at 5, racing getting underway promptly at 7 p.m. We want to make sure everybody's able to get in and get out at a good time and go down, meet the drivers, maybe get a few T-shirts, and have some fun this Saturday night at the Randolph County Raceway for the first time with the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series presented by MAV TV, American Real.
Brian, before we let you go quickly, Hardo Texas Speedway this Friday and Gator Motorplex on Saturday.
That's right. The Griffith Trucking Equipment and Southern Trailer Works ASCS Gulf South region going to be in action down at the heart of Texas, and like you said, Gator Motorplex down in Willis. So it's going to be a lot of fun for these guys to be down there, and of course looking forward to seeing them back in action. And you know, it's been an interesting start to their season. Mother Nature hasn't really been kind to them, and finally a little break there, and they were able to get their first 2 shows in.
Brian, thanks so much for taking the time. I'll see you down there on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
All right, Scott, we'll see you, and hope we get the fans.
We will get the fans. I promise you. The fans from Kansas City love ASCS. So if you are listening to the broadcast or watching it right now, make sure you make the trip down there. It's a short drive. You can make it home after the races. And if you're in St. Louis, Columbia, there's a lot of great places around that racetrack. You need to take the time to go on Saturday night. It should be a barn burner. Again, we want to thank Bryan Hulbert for joining us here on Open Wheel Weekly. Well, until next time, I'm Scott Traylor saying we'll see you this Saturday.